Hi, welcome everybody to today's episode. I'm here with Clementine and Ynna. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. We haven't seen each other or talked to each other in a few years, so it's always wonderful to reconnect. And in a moment, we're going to talk a little bit about how we know each other. But I'd like to start by reading your bio, so people can really get a sense of who you are and what you do, and why it's important in the world. Clementine Ynna is a resilient mother, pioneer in holistic healing for muscular dystrophy, given by her personal journey to restore her son's health after a muscular dystrophy diagnosis. She's the founder of the first neuro reflex therapy clinic in Cyprus and the creator of the muscular dystrophy No More Rehab program, an innovative approach that combines gut healing, detox, movement, and brain-based reflex therapy. Through her work, she empowers families to take control of their healing with proven science-backed tools and deep emotional support. Clementine is living proof that with courage and the right guidance, transformation is not only possible, it's unstoppable. So, welcome.
Thank you.
So, we met, I don't even remember, I think right before COVID, because I remember there were people putting masks on the plane. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? So I came to Cyprus to participate in an insight seminar, my great love and my beginning of transformational work with myself and others. And, that's how we met.
Yeah, it was Mike, I remember.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, and I knew Mike from a long time ago. And well, maybe it's like 7 years ago or so, something like that. And it was wonderful. And Offer was there and Dubai, so a bunch of people that I knew from a long time ago. And for those of you who don't know about Insight, we'll put it in the show notes because I think it'd be fun. It's a personal transformational seminar that empowers people to live effective and authentic lives and be part of the hub. But we're not here to talk about Insight. We're here to talk about your work. And so perhaps in your own work, in your own words, tell us a little bit about how you got started. And I remember you telling me the powerful story about your son. Maybe share a little bit about that because I think it's really important for people to know about.
Yes, thank you, Barbara. So, well, everything started, yes, with the diagnosis of my son. It was a very challenging time. So my son has been diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. So for those of you who are not familiar with this disorder, it's a disorder that affects the muscles, creating muscle loss. There are about 30 different types of muscular dystrophy, but to give you an example, usually children by the age of 12 with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is one of the most aggressive form of muscular dystrophy, lose usually all the ability to walk or even to drink from a mug.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I learned this news, I was devastated. I still remember I felt like I was in a dream, a nightmare, actually. I was in France because I live in Cyprus. Nobody was able really to tell me what my son had. And when they make some kind of test, they were not really, I will say, they didn't know much how to take care of children for this kind of test. So it was quite traumatic for my son. So I decided to make all of the tests in France. And I still remember when I came there in this neurologist office, he told me, you're gonna need to make some extra tests. And I was like, okay, I will stay longer in France, and we can do all of this. I was trying to find a solution. And it's really at that point that I realized that something was very serious, because it looked at me and he had a lot of compassion in his voice, and he told me calm down, it's not something you can take care now, and you're going to need some psychological help, because what I discovered after is that there is no cure for muscular dystrophy. So it was a very challenging time for me when I discovered this. I really felt like hopeless and helpless. And I found later on some solution. And that's why I decided to share this with other families so that they can really got, the same kind of results that I have with my son, and also find hopes again.
Yeah, of course. So, and I remember that you told me that when he was born, that immediately you kind of knew that there was something going on with him, right? Do I remember that correctly?
Well, we didn't know what it was at that point. It was not connected to really muscular dystrophy. I mean, he had a lot of acid reflex, like very bad. And I remember, like, he was not sleeping day and night, just crying all the time, always hungry and always crying. And I was going to all of the doctors in Cyprus, and they thought I was crazy. They thought that I was just like very overconscious mother and overprotective. And they were like telling me, don't worry, don't wake him up, to give him food or something, like making jokes about me. And at one point I really get upset, and I just took my son and I went to France, and then they discovered that actually he had an esophagitis. So it's like a very bad acid reflex, and actually some child can actually die from this.
Oh yes, you die, and oh yeah, you can die from it, sure.
Yes. So, and then after 8 days they give him some medicine, and then it's calmed down. So we knew there was something wrong. And also he was, like, he was crying all the time. So we knew it was something, but didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. I want to remind you that if you're interested in learning more about neuro emotional coaching or kinesiology, if you would like to have a taste, find out what it could do for you or your business, your family, please look at the show notes. There's a link for a 30-minute free introductory meeting, and we can explore it. You can look at what is holding you back, what are your dreams, what is it that you always wanted to achieve. Don't be shy, sign up. Now, let's get back to the show.
So, and then how did you discover this type of therapy that you now? I'm assuming you're still doing it with your son, and you're helping other families. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so that was a long journey. First of all, when I learned the news, it took me for some months to really recover, to really move into action, because it was also a time when I separate with my ex-partner. I was not talking much with my family, and I was alone in Cyprus.
Oh wow!
Away from my family, away from everyone.
Oh.
And I still remember, her also. I was working with one lady called Mira. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mira.
The place I was working, it was Mira. She's an hypnotherapist. And she came a few times to tell us a little bit about what she's doing. And it keep on resonating in my mind, like that our action is guided by 80% of our subconscious mind, and it's keep on coming in my mind. And then one day I decided, okay, I'll go to see this lady, and I went there, and she made me to write a list about all the things that I didn't like about other people, everything that I wanted to change. And it was so big list, and this by the way, this is a key, because sometimes when I talk to mothers, I explain them that the healing is starting with them. Yeah, we think, oh no, it's my child that is sick, nothing with me. No,
Right.
you are the biggest influence of your child. You're the biggest environment for your child. So first it starts from us. And when I wrote all of these things that I dislike in the others or something, I realized, that was all of my shadows also, all of the things that I didn't accept about myself that I have, and that was really the first key, to really accept all of this. And she teach me one technique. It's called releasing breathing technique. And so basically it was about holding your breath. And when you hold your breath, you bringing your brain into like survival mode, and the subconscious has to pop up basically.
Right.
And the subconscious doesn't know if it's true or false.
Right.
So then you can kind of install new beliefs. So I will first say everything that I wanted to remove, yeah, and then after everything that I wanted to refill my mind with. And this was very powerful. I was also like journaling. I was doing gratitude lists, really working on reprogramming my mind. And one day I had a friend of mine. He's a writer, and he called me and he told me, Clementine, I'm writing a book about health, and I found gold information about muscular dystrophy. Are you ready to try? And I was like, it was two parts of me. It was still this part like, oh, there's no cure. What are you talking about? Don't be naive. But then it was this other part, that I have been training now for months with Mira, retraining my mind, that say, you make things possible. You can do it. And I say yes. I'm ready to do it. And that's how I started my journey. It bring me to see some specialists, like the best specialist in the world. And I was writing him a report about everything that I was discovering basically there. And as I was changing my mind, I came across the work of Lon Sorensen, which is the temporal reflex rehabilitation therapy. And when I see the results with my son, I say, okay, this is what I want to do. I first work with him for his, muscular dystrophy. They often have also ADHD.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because they have a lack of dystrophin. The dystrophin also is present in the brain. So they often have learning disabilities, ADHD, different kind of focus problems.
Makes sense.
Yes, my son was starting to get better, like walking better, but then after this come up, and I was like, okay, what can I do now? And I said, okay, there is a solution also for this. My mind was like looking for solution. And I found this therapy, and I started to work on my son. And then after 1 month, the teacher that was complaining every day to me about my son, like he cannot sit down, is disturbing the class, Finally, she came to me and she told me, I have something to tell you. And I thought, oh my God, what is she going to tell me today? And then she told me, I want to tell you that your son has made a lot of progress, and he make a lot of effort. Like he's sitting, he's trying to sit still, we can really see that he's trying to cooperate.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I saw this, I said, okay, I'm on the right path. There's something there. And then after I saw a video on YouTube about children in Oman. So it was a family of 3 children with muscular dystrophy. And Lon Sorensen was showing how she rehabilitated them in Oman, this family. And you can see that after they start to walk. And I say, okay, I have to go there. And that's how I started. I went there in Oman, and we were educating the family there in Oman to retrain their children.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So that's an amazing story. So you saw the results with your own son, and then you saw results with other families, and now we're years later, and you're working with families in Cyprus.
Yes, in Cyprus and all over the world, because I create an online program. I wanted more families to have access to this, so they can do it from online. I can teach them each techniques online.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about how that works. So if I have a kid that has muscular dystrophy and I want to try this out, then how does that tell us, how does that work? How do people learn what you do?
So I do few like webinars to explain them how does it work and why they haven't got the results yet with the other traditional therapy. What is the missing part, basically? And then later on, the families that are interested, they come and we do a neurological and muscle function assessment online.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then I can provide them the protocol for their children. And there is like close-up videos so they can see each techniques very well. And then they will send me the videos once they perform on their children, and I will check and I will tell them, yes, it's great, or this is, you need to be corrected.
Oh, it's
And that's
awesome.
how we go. And, yeah.
And what kind of results are people reporting back?
So I have small children, for example, 5 years old with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which I explained it's one of the most aggressive form. So I have, one of the child, for example, he started to jump after 3 months of therapy. After 1 month of therapy, his mom make also a blood test about the CK levels. So the CK has to do with the enzymes that show the damage of the muscles. So usually when a child have Duchenne, is like really high. It goes really high, like 15K. And it went down most like half in just
Wow.
1 month of therapy.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he started to be able also to climb the stairs without holding the rail.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's also was a great thing. I have also children that put on weight, so they put on muscle mass. And what was also great to see is that I have one person, it's a spinal muscular atrophy type 3, but he's 42 years old. And he's starting to have a muscle growth. He told me that his leg was more 3 centimeters diameter than before.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And he started to walk better, more fast. It's also his thyroid glands balance. So, yes.
So it sounds like that the technique is has more benefit than just, that there's this is sort of like I don't even know how to say it, but it's a holistic way of improving people's health, even though it's geared at somebody that has muscular dystrophy, that your thyroid glands or your overall function is improving, which then probably has an impact on everything.
Yeah, that's what is great. That's why I was looking for this therapy for my son. I wanted something natural. Unfortunately, the only drugs that are available for those children are also having a lot of side effects on the liver and on the kidneys. So what is great about this therapy is that doesn't have any side effects, and it's non-invasive also for children. So that's what I wanted, and it's very important to work very holistically. And sometimes I have the question, it's also possible to work with this therapy, even that they are taking, for example, some drugs, like some steroids. It's also possible to work with the therapy. It doesn't interfere.
Have you had any experience working with people that have MS or Parkinson or anything like that?
Yes. I had one lady, she was Parkinson's stage 7. So she was just lying in a bed, and she was just having a lot of tremors on her chin. She was not talking, not moving. And what was great is after only 2 sessions, a daughter sent me a message that she started to say a few words.
Wow.
And after, because I trained the family, so they were doing for her every day. And after 1-2 weeks, her chin stopped shaking all the time. So the tremor stopped. Yes. And then she started to be able to move a little bit the leg and the arms. Yes.
Fantastic.
After 3 months. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's remarkable. So we have to say that, you know, the technique is not something that you do once and then, you know, everything works magically, but it's something that you have to do every day. And we're going to put all the information in the show notes so people can contact you and learn about it. But it's important to know that there are things that you can do. There are, you know, tools and techniques that can change the course of a challenging diagnosis, such as, you know, muscular dystrophy or MS or Parkinson or anything like that. So, and good for you for putting it out there. And, you know, I watch the videos and I see your son and the progress that he's been making, and it's really incredible, and a testimony to that the technique works. So I want to encourage you to keep doing it.
Thank you.
Well, you know, sometimes it's challenging. We have our ups and downs. So I want to change the nature of our conversation a little bit and talk a little bit about exactly that, like the challenges that you've experienced, and it, you know, it can be the same kind of challenge that you talked about with your work and with your son, and what got you through it. And even, you know, in today's world, what keeps you going? What do you do maybe on a daily basis or a weekly basis that, I know I'm asking a lot of questions all at once. So
Yeah.
you can pick which one you want to answer.
I can answer one after the other. So
Yeah, go ahead.
so what helped me to really move out of this challenge, it was really working on my mindset consistently. So as I was explaining, I was doing the releasing breathing technique.
Mhm.
I used to take care of my emotion a lot, because when you are facing this kind of challenging, you are like going into a spiral all the time. And I used to have this wheel of emotion, and Mira, this lady, teach me how to use it so that I will pick up the emotion and really release everything that was linked to this. And it was really helpful for me at the beginning, because at the beginning I didn't know really what I was feeling. It was like a lot of emotion in one. Yeah. I used to journal every day. Every morning, I used to write everything I'm grateful for. And every evening, I would write every wins, everything that made me smile during the day. And at that time, it was not many, right? It was challenging to find those things. But what I realized is the more I was writing, the more it was easier and easier after, and more things was coming up, because I changed my focus. I reframe my beliefs also. For example, I used to believe that, you know, Cyprus is a small island, there are no good doctors, nobody can help me. And then I reframe it that my son benefits from the best medical and financial support. And that's how it came. I mean, Mark came after and offered me his ongoing coaching and also financial support to meet some of the best experts in the world. So when I changed my focus, it changed so many things in my life. And this is something I keep on using. I'm also adding a lot of meditation now. But yeah, I keep on doing it, journaling, taking care of my thoughts. Yes, very important. One of the things that I realized is that I was feeling like a victim, like everything was happening to me.
Mhm.
And I reframe it like, what if it's not happening to me, but for me?
Mhm.
You know, what could
Yeah.
be the gift there? And when you rephrase this all the time, you change your focus, because a victim has no power, just suffering.
Yep, that's so true.
So for me, it was really about, yes, taking my responsibility and keep on moving and changing my focus.
Very powerful what you say, because I think a lot of people feel like victims. And even though if we've done some of the work and we move ourselves, out of victimhood, then there comes the next thing. I mean, I live in Israel, and certainly very easy to feel like a victim here. They're doing this to us, and doing that to us, and it's like powerless, and you can look at it that way, and it all seems real. And so then what do I do with that inside of myself? So, and those exercises work. Gratitude. I was thinking this morning, oh my God, I was, just before I came on, I showered, and I was thinking, oh my God, I can still shower. Something that a lot of other people can't do right now. So to be grateful for the things that we can be grateful for, and then just to continue to do those exercises and working on our mindsets, and then our emotions start to regulate automatically. So, and then we can empower ourselves. So very true.
Yeah, it's so important, and looking for the gift.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have on top of my bed this Maasai tribe. And I don't know if you know, it's like every time they have challenges coming on their way, they celebrate. They celebrate because they know they're going to grow into it. They trust the process. And
wow.
I think one of the big things for me was really, realizing, not only hearing it, but realizing that I live in a friendly universe. Yeah. That everything happened for me and not to me. This was a very important realization.
Yeah, that is important. That's important. That seems like challenging for me to think about it at the moment, that I live in the friendly universe and everything's for me, but it's in a very powerful mindset. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And I guess that's interesting that they would celebrate, because they know that they will grow. Yes, in the end, if we launch ourselves into the future, there is growth. And a long time ago, one of my teachers said, the universe will never give you anything that you can't handle. So everything that shows up, we know we're prepared for. We earned it.
So true. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else that you want to share with us, leave us with, before we close out for today?
Yeah. Maybe if you want a tip, will be,
Of course.
I would say probably to challenge your beliefs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a big thing for me. Challenging my beliefs and asking myself better question. Yes, that was very powerful in my journey to be able to do this. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to share my story. I'm very thankful for the opportunity also to be able to help other families. And so thank you very much, Barbara.
No, you're welcome. So I think that's a good tip to leave with challenge our beliefs. I want to thank you for coming on. Please give my love to your husband, Krasi. I hope we'll see each other in the near future. We're going to have all the information about you in the show notes. And thank you again. And keep up with the great work that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Barbara. See you soon.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, and here are the takeaways with my interview with Clementine. Number 1, start with your own healing. Your mindset, emotions, and beliefs profoundly affect your child's environment.
Don't underestimate the power of working on yourself first. Number 2, challenge your limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, what if this isn't true? The shift from there's nothing I can do to what else is possible can open new doors mentally and physically. Number 3, use simple daily tools. Practices like journaling, gratitude lists, breathwork, and emotion tracking are powerful, accessible ways to regulate your nervous system and to retrain your brain. Number 4, shift from victim to empowered. Try asking, what if this is happening for me, not to me? Reframing your experience helps reclaim your power and unlock resilience. And number 5, stay curious and open to new paths. Even when the system says there's no solution, your intuition, persistence, and willingness to explore alternative therapies can lead to surprising results. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Take care.